You've reached call in Mockery.
I must have the wrong number.
I'll call you back.
Maybe we'll talk about it on the podcast, but I don't know. Maybe we should. Maybe we shouldn't. What with the controversy that's going on and stuff. So.
Of what?
Talk
about what?
Oh, well, yeah, we probably shouldn't. So.
Okay, well, we're not on the air right now, are we?
No.
Okay, so then tell me, because I've got a lot of hot takes on stuff too that I don't want to say on the show.
Well, there's a little guy that I see clips of on the.
Is it the Munchkin from What Happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, on Wizard of Oz.
Mm-hmm.
This is something I wouldn't say on the show, but I know that's real.
Yeah, he was. Unfortunately, and it's not funny, but
No,
he did commit suicide.
Yes, he
unalived himself.
Yes, because I think what happened, I think it was when the movie goes from black and white to color.
He couldn't handle it.
Well, think about when you just go to New York or something where it's just sensory overload. It's like, ha, get out of the way. Krispy Kreme, Krispy Kreme.
Which way you working?
Happy Halloween.
Motherfucker.
And then it's just like, think you're that guy, but it's color. It's like the Giver situation where it's like, I saw an apple.
It's giving Giver.
It was different than any apple I've ever seen, but I can't explain hows.
Base apple had pigment. Base apple had red.
They don't know that.
They don't know that.
He didn't say, interesting. Interesting. Base apple had pigment. He doesn't know.
He doesn't know.
It's an apple, but it's different somehow.
So he has to go and unalive himself. And it really did happen.
Yeah.
And the cardboard cutout, but it was actually a ghost. And what else did we talk about this weekend?
If you do, this is another Wizard of Oz thing, but they did make all of Dark Side of the Moon fit perfectly.
Yeah, they did
with
do
the Wizard
that.
of Oz because of drugs.
Played backwards, of course.
Yeah. Okay, should we hit record now?
Yeah.
And record.
So there's this guy, like a comedian, that I keep seeing on there that's annoying because...
On where? Sorry, underwear. Oh my gosh.
And he has a guitar.
Yep.
And he just kind of... But no, he'll be doing that and he'll be like, what you doing, boo? What do you do for a job, boo? He can't not sing. He has to sing.
I have to crack open my Spindrift for this.
Ooh, flavor? What flavor?
Cotton candy.
I like that one. So he'll go, what do you do for a living, boo? Boo, what you do? Boo, what you do? And then she's like, I'm a hairdresser. You're a hairdresser. You're a hairdresser. She dresses hair. She dresses hair. You ever think... Everyone's dying laughing. You ever think about someone who dresses hair? They're not actually putting clothes on the hair. And then he's like, what do you do? What do you do? Sir, what do you do?
I'm an attorney at law.
Attorney at law. Attorney at law. Like Harvey Birdman. Like Harvey Birdman.
It's my birthday.
I don't care. Are you two together? Are you two together? Are you two together? No, just friends.
Harvey Birdman.
No, just friends. Tonight you're going to have sex. Tonight you're going to have sex. That's all he does. And I was like, I saw that he had a free YouTube special. You know, everyone's doing this now. So I was like, you know what? This guy pisses me off so much. But
so you watched it.
I know that comedians do this now. They only put crowd work online because they don't want to spoil jokes. which I understand. And some people are good at it, some people are bad. I'm not saying this guy is necessarily bad at crowd work, because crowd work is kind of just you ask someone a question and then make a face. Like, there's not like, there are good people are better at it than others, but also it is kind of just like you're just making fun of someone for like they accidentally misspeak, and you're like, yeah, of course. Now I know exactly why you wash dishes for a living. Yeah, everyone dies. So I said, all right, I'm gonna give this person an hour of my time, and it was bad. It was bad, but all of the comments are like, next Bo Burnham, next Bo Burnham. And this guy is probably older than Bo Burnham, for one, which doesn't matter, but it is just funny to be like, wow, you're the next Bo Burnham as a 40-year-old man or whatever. I can't with these people. And he even did, so he does an opening song that's like, basically like the beginning of Bo Burnham's words, where he's like, welcome to the show. Goes a little bit like this joke. Exactly. Because people don't expect that he's going to do a call and response, so they're silent, so there's no laughter or clapping or anything. So it's funny. Now, what this guy does is like, I'm going to need you to sing this with me. I'm going to need you to sing this with me. Can you do an LOL or a ha, ha, ha? And then he goes around and makes everyone sing this. You're like, okay. It's not really anything funny, though. And then he even does like a song that's like the serious song where he's like, where it's, I can't remember what it was, but it's something like, if you lose likes online, you do not lose your life. Or something like that. It's just, it's so like the most obvious dumb shit that like Bo Burnham was doing when he was 12. And not even to compare him to Bo Burnham, just in general, like we already know all this stuff. You're not, comedy should be enlightening in some way, or at least like poking fun in a new way. You just by singing it doesn't make it new to me. I don't know. Everyone likes him probably because he's hot. He's hot.
People just like weird things I've seen. I saw a video of a guy, and I went through a lot of them because it's just him walking into a room. And he's like, "Hey, Steve," and but all the voice is done in post on top of him. Funny. But then he plays. He's like, "Hey, Steve," and he goes, "Hey, John, why'd you come in here?" Sometimes I just like to sit by myself. He's like, "I like to sit by myself too sometimes." It's just a guy pretending to be two different people. Very weird. And all the comments I think are going to be what I'm thinking. And it's like this is it. And like the fact that you can be so gobsmackingly funny and brutally honest at the same time blows me away. He's like, "Hey, Steve. Hey, Tom. What's going on today? Just thought I would try to make a pizza, but it didn't really work out that way. That's okay. You can try again tomorrow. Hey, you're right." Just someone talking.
No, that is funny.
They're playing both parts.
No, just to be, that is funny though.
I tricked you.
It's very
it's
funny.
Me.
It's Joe. Oh,
it's like when someone sends you, "Hey, I found this guy on SoundCloud."
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought maybe you'd like this.
Yeah.
Like, that song's really good. I'm like, oh, cool. Well, it was me. I'm the one that made the song that I sent to you. Lance got to send a text really quick.
What a stupid son of a bitch.
Look, it's Colin Mockery. It's the show where everyone calls in and we mock. Of course, we never miss a week. We always put out an episode.
Yes.
And we do have a special call that we do want to play for the kind folks at home. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I give to you Exhibit A. I'm just going to vamp here for a little bit. Oh, okay. And
do you want me to do it? Oh, he's going to do it.
We'll see if it... Oh,
but by the way, remember, you can call us 319-DUB-MYTH. 319-D as in dog, U as in uncle, B as in boggart, MIT, M as in Mitty, as in the life of Walter Mitty, IIT. Please play the message we got this week.
It didn't work again.
Put your mom right here, big old jumbo with a bow, man. Some big old jumbo with a bow, man. God damn, man. Fuck, man. I was fucking run the house, man. That house, man. God damn, man. Fuck.
If you're gonna leave us a message, I'll just maybe please try not to swear, because then we have to do,
Yeah. We're not going to bleep you. We bleep us. We won't bleep you.
No.
Because...
So, of course, thank you for the message. As you know, if you call us, you get a message letting you know that you're calling in to talk to the podcast, Colin Mockery.
That's
so,
right.
Thank you.
I do just to translate what Google Translate says.
Okay.
So now you got a big old F beep. Jumbo with Bob got a remote vehicles. So that's what Google Translate is telling us that the caller said. And if that is the case, we shouts out to Bob. We do love and respect remote vehicle start, remote start, especially in a cold climate. You want to remote start your vehicle from the house, get the heat going. And God, even when it gets a little hot, maybe you want to get the air going.
Yeah, I think it's important to, I think as he was saying on the message, it's important to, when you're buying a vehicle, you might say, I don't want to add on all these extra features, whatever.
Yeah.
The remote start, if it doesn't come with it, might be an extra $200. In the long run,
You'll probably like it.
You're gonna be glad you got it. It's gonna be worth the money, which I think is a good point to bring up on our show, since we talk about cars.
Speaking of cars, I do want to say the other day I saw a driverless car. Have you seen one of those before? Out in the wild?
No. Just a car driving itself?
Well, so here's what happened. We were driving down the street,
Uh,
and kind of a residential street, and traffic is coming from both ways. It's kind of a busy time of day. And in the driveway of a house is a SUV and then like a little sedan.
yes, I know those.
And kind of in the middle of traffic is going pretty good, but the sedan just starts backing out, and we're like, okay, must be, I don't know, must be in a hurry or something, because they just kind of cut everyone off. So the sedan backs out and then backs into the driveway of the house across the street. We're like, okay, that's weird. And everyone just kind of stops and waits for this guy to do whatever he's doing. And then the car, everyone's getting mad because they're like, well, just do it.
Right.
Do what you're going to do. Because the car then slowly drives back out of the street, across the street, neighbor, and then just kind of parks in the middle of the street. And it's at that point you realize no one is in that car. It rolled out of a driveway into the middle of the street. And then you see there's a guy in the SUV, or like getting his kids into the SUV, and he sees the car in the middle of the street and kind of looks around, and he runs out to like stop it, because at this point it was going back up into his driveway from whence it came. And he like opened the door and put his foot on the brake, and then he parked it. And then he went and got the guy, and it's like in the middle of the street, so like half there. And then he got his friend who was over, I guess. Was like, hey, your car. So then that guy runs out, puts his daughter in the car, and literally just cars and cars on either side are just watching him as he's putting his car in the back, or his daughter in the back of the car, and then he's getting in, and then he has to do like a 6-point turn. And it's just funny. And you're like, God.
How does that happen?
I don't know. Kind of funny, though.
Because that's not a good...
No.
That's not a good smart car.
No. Well, I don't think it was a smart car. I think he forgot to put it in park.
But did it to have it roll out and go into someone else's driveway and
It
stop
was quite lucky.
and then pull back out? You know what that reminds? You know what that sounds like to me?
Huh.
A clown car.
Oh my God.
We got to do it. We got to do this for the photo.
Oh yeah.
Okay. That wasn't dead air. Sometimes when you're listening to podcasts, you're like, I think they're mad at each other.
Yeah.
We weren't mad. We were just showing gratitude.
Mm-hmm. And splatitude if we must.
Yeah. I was playing Splatoon.
And catitude.
Oh. Wow.
Say, do you have any funny stories?
Oh, gosh.
I have one.
Oh, I do actually, but it involves what I've been watching.
Okay.
So if you've got a funny story,
I have one more thing that I just thought of. It's not really a story. Well, I have a couple things, but
Okay.
I'll save one of them because I'm sure by next week I'll have forgotten everything. So
good idea.
here's a funny thought that maybe this would go into a stand-up bit.
Okay.
Let me try it as that guy who sings everything. Do a little.
Oh, sir.
Sir, do it.
Doom 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 doom.
That's too fast. It's more of just like he's
he's
lightly
like,
picking.
Doom 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 do 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 do.
People think that it's sexy to have chest hair. People think it's sexy to have chest hair. Women, do you think it's sexy that a man has a chest hair? Men, do you think it's sexy to have men have chest hair? My cat has chest hair. My cat has chest hair. My cat has chest hair, and my dog also has chest hair. Animals are sexy. Animals are sexy. To you sick freaks. You sick freaks. Animals are sexy to sick freaks that like my show.
You should have saved that. I think we have a stand-up set coming up.
Yeah, I'll probably work that in.
I've got a couple things for that, but I can't debut them on the show because, like you said, it's the kind of thing you don't want to put online. But at the same time, can't you put an old joke you don't do anymore on the online?
Yeah,
Why do you just have to put crowd work?
they'll do old jokes. I don't know. Look, we're comedians. We can't say too much bad about comedians, okay? Because it's our brethren. You know, these are the guys and gals and people that are fighting in the trenches of free speech. You know, if we don't have people like this guy who has who wears makeup while he's playing his little songs on stage and trying to, I guess, get people to have sex with him.
Yeah. Then what do we have?
We don't have anything.
Yeah.
We have Jack Squat.
Exactly.
We do have Jack Squat, the comedian.
Yeah, we have Jack Squat, but if he were to say go off and try to do movies, serious movies, a Mr. Brooks sort of movie, something like that, we don't have Jack Squat anymore.
No.
We need Jack Squat on our side.
If we don't have Jack Squat, we've lost everything.
If we don't have Jack Squat, we've got Jack Squat.
Interesting. God.
Think about that.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. Well, first of all, Landon, I watched the movie Heat. In my little trilogy of I watched Hell or High Water. Then I watched The Town. And I said, I'm trying to find a good bank robbery movie. I watched Heat. I loved it.
I've never seen that.
Al Pacino is incredible.
Wow.
It's great. Who's in that movie?
I don't know. I haven't seen
Al.
it.
It simultaneously has some of the best acting I've seen and some of the worst. Some people in the movie are terrible. But there's a movie, what's his name? Levine?
Ted
Levine.
Levine.
One of the drag is all the way out here. He's also 38 in the movie, and it made me want to do the Munchkin thing. Because he looks the way he did in, like, Monk. phone went away.
Yeah, he's looked kind of like that the whole time. Well, even as Buffalo Bill, you're kind of like, what's Stottlemyre doing tucking?
And he's like 25 in that.
Yeah.
Hey, put your lotion on my chin. Val Kilmer's great in it. It's a good movie.
Val, yeah, he's always good.
It's the classic. There's a few scenes that you go, God, that's cool.
I'll check it out.
Check it out. It's like what, 3.5 hours long or something?
That don't bother
It's pretty
me.
long, but it's good.
That don't bother me at all.
When it ends, it's one of those where you go, I wish this was longer. God, it's kind of corny sometimes, but they do some interesting stuff. And go on.
I was just gonna say, are you gonna read Heat 2, the book?
I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking I will because I watched the movie and I said, okay. But
if you want more, that's
I watched another Ted Levine movie this week. One that features a couple cold cappuccinos. This is a movie called The Fast and the Furious.
Oh.
Where Ted Levine again plays a cop.
That's right. I forget he's in there.
Get us a couple iced cappuccinos.
That's right.
Decaf. And they've all got glass mugs. It's crazy. I've been trying to watch all of the Fast and Furious movies up to the new one. I want to see it while it's still in theaters.
You have to.
I have not seen... Okay, so I started the 7th one today.
Whoa.
So I'm pretty far along. Up until I started this little chunk of doing this, I'd only ever seen the first 3. And I barely remember Tokyo Drift.
Yeah.
As I was watching it, I was like, this is fun. But I didn't remember whatever. And then I had read into some of it with Han, all these characters that sort of, they have to start playing with the timeline. And some of the things happening in these movies, I wish I just watched them when they came out because the surprises and the twists with some of these characters, I've been watching them by myself and I've been pumping I was pumping my fist and just laughing and clapping because it does slowly become the Avengers. Yeah. And I'm not on anyone's side. There's people that are you know what? These movies are actually good. Yeah. Because everyone made fun of it. It is funny that there's 10 of them. You can't argue that it's crazy that movie, there's now 10 of them and there's going to be like 12 of them. And then there's also Hobbs and Shaw as a spinoff. Right. It's crazy. And they are kind of dorky and corny. The dialogue is sometimes just, but they know that. They know that when Hobbs comes in and he's like talking that way, it's very stylized. Yeah. It's this guy's
some bitch.
Yeah. It's awesome. Yeah. They're great. They're so cool. Yeah. The 5th one's, how many have you seen? Have you seen all of them?
Well, my little journey has been, I saw the first 2. I was huge into Fast and Furious when they came out. I'm sure you were too. Everyone was. Yep. Buy the little cars, the little diecast.
The woman with which I live just sent me a Lego set for Too Fast, Too Furious. It's at Target now for some reason.
For Too Fast, Too Furious?
I think so.
Is it Dom's car?
That's
the one I've been like, I think I'm gonna get Dom's car.
the one with the big spoiler on the muscle car. This is at the store.
Whoa, really?
Too Fast, Too Furious.
It really is.
Nissan Skyline.
That's
$25.
Yeah, I'd probably get that.
I said if I was 10, I would buy one, but I'm 30, so I'm gonna buy 3.
I can afford them. The first 2 are great. I love 2 because Tyrese comes in and you're like, Vin is gone. Vin said adios to the series at that point because he thought he was going to be huge. And he is huge. But Tyrese is great. I love their dynamic. Never saw Tokyo Drift because none of them are in it. And at the time I was like, well, then what's the point? I like the guys. I like the racing. I like the cars. But I like the guys.
And it was also in a time in our life where things changed so fast. You're like, I'm not into this anymore. Right. I used to be.
Yeah. I don't like cars.
You don't understand that 2 years ago was nothing.
Right.
Like now they come out, it's been like 3 years and it's like, didn't they just do one?
Yeah.
But then it was like, I'm like 15 now.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do? Watch this?
I like girls now.
Watch Tokyo Drift. It's great.
Yeah. So so I saw the first two, never saw a single one until the pandemic hit. And I said, I got to see a movie. And I went to Fast 9, the Fast Saga.
Apropos of not seeing anything after 2.
I have heard the episodes of How Did This Get Made for every one that they've done. So I kind of had however, I have a working knowledge of some of the stuff because I've heard 3 or 4 comedians talking about them, which take it for what it is. But I saw that one and it was great. And then I said, well, I'm going to see Fast X. Leading up to Fast X, I went back and I watched 7 and I watched 8. So I've only seen 7, 8, 9, 1, and 2.
So I'm
and
up
now
to where
X.
I've sort of picked up your slack.
You've filled in the gaps.
The baton from the start. And I looked in because I was like, how do I watch these? Because then I saw, actually Tokyo Drift becomes a prequel.
Tokyo Drift.
And then it's like, here's where it fits in the timeline, but it's like, just watch them. I think most of the consensus was just watch them how they came out.
Well, this is what's interesting is you don't have to have seen any of them. That's what when I was sitting there watching 9 and all of these people are coming in that I assume are someone like, I've kind of heard the name Elena. I've heard Giselle. I know some of these people. I know Han is a big deal. But also, you're just there to see them do ungodly things with cars.
Yeah.
And it's fun.
For me, from the outside, I knew that too, but there's just the idea of, I'm fascinated with how it became that.
Yeah.
I'm just like, so how did they get from this movie that I loved, where the guy dies at the, and you feel bad for that guy?
The first one?
Yeah.
And it's grounded.
That's what I mean. It's a real...
Yeah. Vin Diesel smiles.
I've never seen an actual street race.
Right.
And in every one, there's like a street race and people are naked and all. I'm like, this doesn't happen. But still, it's like, this was some underground culture.
All the time. This is what it's like in LA. Race wars.
And that Race Wars comes back. They still call it that.
They still do. But I think even in Fast X, they have Race Wars.
In
no joke.
4. So Tokyo Drift ends with just a little Han pulls up, or no, the guy pulls up, the little Alabama boy.
Yeah.
And Vin is there.
Yeah.
Han was a friend of mine. And you're just like, yeah. And then 4 comes out. 4 is awesome. You got to watch 4.
I will watch 4.
4, I don't remember if it's 4 or 5. This is the problem, though. I've watched them so quick that they're all... Because one of them has one of the funniest... Brian beats the ever-living shit out of one of his cops because he goes back and forth of being a cop.
Of course.
The guy yells at him and he takes the guy's head and like cracks it into a wall. They're like works for the FBI now. And he's bringing a suspect in. So he's like holding onto the suspect and just like beats the crap out of this guy. And his boss is like, not in my place,
Yeah.
The guy's face is all bloody. And then the cop looks at the guy who's about to be interrogated and looks at the cop on the ground and just pats the bad guy on the shoulder. And he's like, have fun in there. They're funny.
They're funny.
They know that they're crazy, but they're good.
Is that 4? Because
I think it was 4.
4, from my understanding, having not seen any of them, really, 4 is kind of, they were like, all right, let's reset a little bit. And then 5 is the one that everyone says is the best, though, because it has the bank heist, the vault through the city that has kind of been the blueprint for everything since.
Because the way they set up 4 is sort of like, okay, now they are doing... It becomes larger than just about street racing.
Right. It's like,
in a way that's like kind of absurd, but still like, okay.
Still kind of grounded.
It's making the stakes bigger.
Yeah.
And then it ends with Dom is going to go to prison. And then you see Brian pull his car up and his sister pull his car up. And then Dom smiles. And then it just ends. And I just went, oh my God. It was like midnight and I started the next one. And then it goes back to that. Brian like pulls his car in front of this huge bus filled with prisoners, stops his car in front of it, and the bus just hits it because he hits his brakes, and it flips over his car. And they're like, there's 25 people on board. No one died.
No one ever dies. That's
And then, but there's one guy missing, and it's Mr. Dominique.
So I saw Fast X, and you've probably seen the trailer for it at least. Yeah. There's like a bomb that rolls through the city.
Yeah.
And it's this huge, and it's awesome. But even after that, it's like just devastation. It's destroying buildings as it's rolling through the city. Yeah. But they always make a point to be like, 125 injured, 0 casualties or whatever. Because of Dom, basically is... It's very interesting what Vin Diesel brings to these movies, though.
It's their. Six has the plane. You got to watch these.
Yeah, 6 is the plane.
6 is the plane, which is bonkers.
Yeah,
and there are some people that die, and you're just like, you feel bad. The guy just like crushes them, but there's just I don't want to talk about it. You just have to watch them. And I'm not talking about anything new.
No.
These movies are, at this point, like that one's, 6 years old?
Yeah.
But now that I did start 7, and I know this is the one where Mr. Brino, it's going to be his last movie. He died making this one, Not making it, but Paul Walker died in the midst of making it. Yeah. And I feel bad because now I've grown to know this man.
There's a funny, it is kind of weird watching.
But it starts like, funny. I thought like, okay, they edited it knowing this was like, they're just like, this is the movie. This is how,
Do you guys hear the dogs barking?
That's fine. Well, here's my story I wanted to say before I let you all go, because I will.
Have you watched 7 though? You just started it?
I just started it.
Okay.
So
there's a part with him that I was laughing out loud while it was going on.
There's some really funny stuff in these movies.
And when I saw Fast X in the theater, no one was doing anything, and I was chuckling to myself while I was watching it because Vin Diesel can lift a car with one arm. Like it's so absurd, but also I believe it.
There's stuff in these where I was like,
"That's so funny."
You got to watch them.
Right.
But yes, then at the end of 6, they do go back and finally tie in the end of Tokyo Drift.
Right.
And I gasped.
They were all prequels to Tokyo Drift.
I thought it was, and I knew at some point that it was going to come back around, but the way they do it as a mid-credit thing, and then they just bring in a new character, I went, oh my God.
I'm coming for you, Dom.
Dominic Toretto. You don't know me, but you will. So here's what happened. This is what happened.
Okay.
I wanted to watch these movies. The woman with whom which I live was going out of town for several days.
Yes.
While we do watch a lot of the same movies, she said, I have no interest in doing this.
Right.
Fair enough. This is something I have to do for myself.
Same in my household.
There are things that we're watching. She's like, we have to watch all the Indiana Jones movie before the new one comes out. Great. We'll do that. But when I'm asking you to watch 9 movies about car racing, I get it. So I said, how do I watch all these? Because they know that the movies are new ones out, so you can't
find these.
You're gonna have to rent every single one of them or just buy the set.
Yeah.
I'm like, am I gonna spend $50 on these? I don't know if I'm ever gonna watch them again. I'm looking around for them. Where's the cheapest place I can buy them or get digital copies? Something. I find a guy selling them on eBay. The 9-movie saga on Blu-ray.
Is it The Wheel?
No, it's that one's expensive.
Oh.
But it's all 9 of them. It comes with the Blu-rays and the digital copy for $26. I was like, that's awesome. But she's going out of town like today.
Yeah.
And it's not going to get here until she gets back. So I messaged the guy. And then I'll have you read his response.
Great.
Hi, I was wondering if I were to purchase this item, would you be able to unseal the copy that you'd mail to me and email me a photo of the digital code for the films as soon as possible before shipping the physical collection? I need the set on a time crunch, so that way I could have all the streaming copies available to me before the set could get here in the mail. Thanks.
LOL.
That's it.
That's it.
And then I said, what if I said please? And I said, what if I just paid this price for the digital code? You wouldn't even need to send me the physical discs in the mail. And he never responded.
Why?
I don't know. It said he had like 10 copies available.
It's a reasonable question.
And also, it was like free shipping. So I'm like, if I pay you $27, you're not going to just text me a photo?
Right.
I'm not asking you to send anything in the mail. You don't have to go to FedEx. You don't have to pay for shipping. It is funny that his response was LOL.
Yeah.
And I knew that it's a funny request.
It is funny.
As
but
we
also,
talked about before,
who
we're
cares?
comedians.
Yes.
But if someone did that to me, I'd laugh. And
Yeah.
I'd send them a photo because I said I'd pay for it. I wasn't
Right.
like, can you send me the digital copy and then I'll pay?
Right.
I'm not being sketchy.
No.
But because that didn't happen,
Yeah, what'd you do?
tried to find them. And then I looked on TNT's streaming app because I guess they have one. And it said, Fast and Furious expires in 2 days. And I smiled because I knew that was going to be it. The floodgates were going to open. Then all of a sudden, they're all on Peacock except for 6 and 8. So I rented 6 last night. I'll have to rent 8 in about 3 hours when I finish 7.
Where'd I watch 8?
You
I
watched
just
it?
watched it, yeah.
Is that Fate of the Furious?
Yeah.
Peacock has...
7. I know it has 7.
Oh, I had to rent... Yeah, so I rented 6. I'm watching 7. I think 8.
Maybe I
it's
watched
somewhere
8
else.
on... Well, because I have Hulu for live TV, and I think it was
That's
on...
probably it.
It was on one of those, like, TBS or something.
Well, then F9's on there. So I'm getting there, everyone.
Yeah.
Wish me luck.
It's all awesome. Fast X is fun because you know it is the end of or the beginning of the end of the road, and
there's going to be 2 more.
well,
There's going to be 1 more we know.
there's
But then Dominic himself said, it's not going to wrap up in one movie. There's too much story.
Well, I don't know how much you know of what's going on with everything surrounding the Fast family, so I'm just gonna plead the
outside of the movie?
fifth. Yeah,
I don't want to know.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
I know that they were in a fight.
yeah,
Hobbs and Dom. He's back.
yeah.
Hobbs is going to have a solo movie.
Oh, so you do know that?
Yes.
So I think that's what Vin was meaning when he said there's going to be 3. It's going to be 3 because from what I've seen, Fast X, then Hobbs, and I don't think it'll be Hobbs and Shaw though.
No. He said,
It's just a Hobbs
Him,
movie.
yeah.
Yeah. So
and then Fast 11.
and then Fast 11.
Whatever.
We'll see. I don't know. But apparently Vin Diesel is also mad because everyone loves Jason Momoa from the new one.
I mean, I'm on his. I'm not on anyone's side. He's fun. I mean,
I love Vin Diesel in these movies.
he's a good actor.
He's good. He makes you believe what's going on, which is insane. And it's not because is he good? He
I don't know,
is.
sometimes like my father was taking me to the store the other day, and
He's so deeply invested in all of it. Like you just believe that. Well, I think he believes that he's.
well, that's why I think there was the fight with him and The Rock,
yeah.
Mr. Dwayne, because he's like, don't come in here and try to
Try to take over my franchise.
Yeah.
Which I get.
I get that too. It's this is the world we live in, everyone.
Yeah. Anyway, long live Vin Diesel.
Can't see anything.
Yeah.
So bright in here. Well, you got anything else for us?
I don't think so.
These movies are, if you haven't watched them or you think, oh, I'll watch them for just, you can like many things. I can like a good movie and I can like a popcorn muncher. Okay? Just not sitting next to me at the theater.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Don't. Oh, that was one other thing. When I was watching Fast X, there was a guy a couple rows away from me. He was just breathing heavily the whole time, and it took me out of the movie. I was longing for an action sequence because it blasted my
loud.
eardrums out. But he was just. I don't know if he was excited or he has a health issue, but. If you're out there, buddy, I'm sorry for whatever you're going through, but also just shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
Bye.
listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal, providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.